Have you ever pondered the stark contrasts of wealth and poverty that exist in our world today? It's a question that often boggles the mind, especially when one realizes that in an age of unprecedented wealth, extreme poverty still persists. In a world brimming with riches, where technological advancements have created possibilities beyond our wildest imagination, it's a paradox that poverty continues to grip certain parts of the globe. This stark disparity is more pronounced when we compare the world's richest and poorest countries. The richest nations boast impressive skyscrapers, advanced infrastructure, and an enviable standard of living. Conversely, the poorest countries grapple with dilapidated structures, inadequate facilities, and a low quality of life. Their citizens often struggle with basic necessities like clean water, nutritious food, and access to healthcare. Poverty, however, is not just about a lack of material wealth. It's a complex issue with multiple facets. It's about being denied opportunities for education, about living in environments that are harmful to health and well-being, and about the inability to participate fully in societal activities. It's about deprivation, marginalization, and exclusion. The causes of poverty are myriad and often interconnected. They range from economic factors such as unemployment and underemployment, to social factors like discrimination and lack of education, to political factors such as corruption and poor governance. The effects of poverty are equally diverse and far-reaching. They span across health issues, educational disadvantages, social exclusion, and even violence. One might wonder, in a world that has enough resources to provide for everyone, why does poverty still exist? Why are there people who live on less than $1 a day while others bask in unimaginable wealth? These are questions that touch on the very core of our societal structures and values. Understanding poverty is not just about recognizing the disparity between the rich and the poor. It's about understanding its root causes, its effects, and most importantly, what can be done to alleviate it. Now, let's delve into the depth of the world's poorest country. It's a journey that will give us a closer look at the stark realities of poverty, and hopefully, a better understanding of what needs to be done to eradicate it. Burundi, a small landlocked nation in East Africa, holds the unenviable title of being the world's poorest country. It's a place where the beautiful landscapes of the Great Rift Valley starkly contrast with the grim realities of economic hardship. Encompassing an area about the size of Maryland, Burundi is home to approximately 11 million people, yet this small nation has a gross domestic product, or GDP, of less than $3 billion. To put that into perspective, this is less than the annual revenue of many multinational corporations. Life in Burundi is challenging. Over 65% of its population lives below the poverty line, struggling to meet basic needs. The average income is less than $200 per year, less than $1 a day. Malnutrition is widespread, affecting nearly half of all children under 5. Factors contributing to Burundi's poverty are complex and intertwined. Political instability has plagued the country for decades, hindering its development and causing significant social disruption. Corruption is pervasive and deeply ingrained in many aspects of society, further exacerbating economic problems. Lack of access to education is another major issue. With more than 40% of children not completing primary school, the country faces a significant challenge in developing a skilled workforce for the future. Additionally, the healthcare system in Burundi is severely under-resourced, with only one doctor for every 20,000 people. This makes it incredibly difficult to address health issues such as malaria and malnutrition, which are prevalent in the country. Natural resources are scarce, and over 90% of the population relies on subsistence farming. This leaves them vulnerable to the effects of climate change, soil erosion, and other environmental challenges. The country's economy is heavily dependent on foreign aid, which makes up more than 40% of its national income. The harsh reality of life in Burundi is a stark reminder of the extreme poverty that exists in our world. Yet it's also a call to action, a call to work collectively and individually to address these issues and strive for a world where no country bears the title of poorest. The implications of such extreme poverty extend far beyond just low income. In the heart of Africa lies Burundi, a country where the effects of poverty resonate in every corner. This isn't just an issue of people not having enough money. It's a matter of survival, where basic human needs are often unmet. Imagine a child in Burundi, born into a world where malnutrition is the norm. The first years of a child's life are crucial for development, yet many do not receive the necessary nutrients to grow and thrive. Malnutrition, unfortunately, is a common companion of poverty, robbing these children of their potential before they've even had a chance to discover it. But the impact of poverty doesn't stop at malnutrition. It weaves its way into every aspect of life, including health. Diseases that are easily preventable in wealthier nations run rampant in Burundi. Malaria, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS are just a few of the common afflictions exacerbated by a lack of access to proper healthcare. And let's not forget about education, the cornerstone of any society. In Burundi, the poverty-stricken circumstances mean that many children are unable to attend school. Instead, they are thrust into adulthood prematurely, working to help their families survive. Without education, they are trapped in a cycle of poverty, with no clear path to a better future. The lack of opportunities compounds the situation. Without access to jobs that offer a living wage, many in Burundi find themselves stuck in a perpetual cycle of poverty. It's a cycle that's hard to break, as each generation inherits not just the poverty, but the barriers that come with it. Poverty isn't just about money, it's about a lack of basic human needs and opportunities. It's about children growing up malnourished, communities ravaged by disease, and generations trapped in a cycle of poverty. The impact of poverty in Burundi is profound, and it's a stark reminder of the work that still needs to be done to combat poverty worldwide. Despite the grim reality, there is a beacon of hope as the world is not turning a blind eye to this plight. In the face of adversity, international organizations, governments, and even individuals are rallying to address poverty on a global scale. Efforts are being made to combat poverty not just in Burundi, but across the globe. The strategies employed are as diverse as the cultures and societies they aim to uplift. Education is one such strategy. With the knowledge that education is a powerful tool for change, organizations like UNESCO and the World Bank are investing significantly in improving access to quality education in impoverished regions. They believe that by empowering individuals with knowledge and skills, they can break the cycle of poverty and stimulate economic growth. Healthcare, too, is a critical element of this global response. The World Health Organization, along with national governments, is working tirelessly to improve healthcare infrastructure and services in impoverished areas. They're focusing on issues like maternal and child health, nutrition, and the prevention and control of diseases. The goal is to ensure that poverty doesn't equate to a lack of access to basic healthcare. Another key strategy is promoting economic development. It's a complex task, but organizations like the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank are stepping up to the plate. They're providing loans and technical assistance to help countries build robust economies. They're promoting trade, supporting small businesses, and encouraging sustainable practices. These efforts are complemented by national governments working to implement policies that promote social protection, create jobs, and ensure fair wages. Governments are also striving to improve governance and fight corruption, which are critical to establishing a climate conducive to development. These global responses to poverty are vital, but they're not a quick fix. They require persistence, cooperation, and a shared commitment to creating a world where everyone, regardless of where they're born, has an opportunity to thrive. Together, we have the power to change the narrative for countries like Burundi. But what can you do? How can one person make a difference in this grand scheme? It's a common question, one that seems almost rhetorical. But let's take a moment to really consider it. The power of individual action in combating poverty is immense. Each of us holds within our reach the potential to affect meaningful change. It's not about grand gestures or overhauling systems overnight. It's about small, consistent actions that, over time, can make a significant impact. Think about Malala Yousafzai, who started advocating for girls' education when she was merely a child herself. She faced immense adversity, yet her individual action has led to global change. Or consider the story of Muhammad Yunus, who began a microcredit revolution by lending a mere $27 to 42 impoverished individuals. His small act of faith and generosity has since transformed the lives of millions. Yet, it's not just about these extraordinary individuals. Every one of us can contribute in our own way. For some, this may mean making financial contributions to organizations working to alleviate poverty. For others, it may be about volunteering time and skills to local initiatives. Or perhaps it's about using your voice to advocate for policy changes that tackle the root causes of poverty. Every action, no matter how small, can make a difference. Buying fair trade products, for instance, can help ensure that producers in developing nations receive a fair wage. Donating to a food bank can provide meals for those in need in your own community. Even sharing informative content on social media can raise awareness and inspire others to act. So let's shift our thinking. Let's stop asking, "What can I do?" and start asking, "What will I do?" Because every step we take, every action we commit to brings us closer to a world free from poverty. Remember, ending poverty isn't just a dream for the future, it's a possibility within our reach. Together, we can make a difference.